it is probably the beginning of the downfall of Team India. And we saw what happened in the preceding ODIs where we were whitewashed by an inexperienced South African team.
It is the ego of the people who are handling the board that they would not go back to a resigning captain and say, no, we need you and you need to carry on for 2 more years.
The decision of his of leaving T20 captaincy was probably right. Timing was wrong, as everybody else said. But decision was right, I feel.
Yes, a captain should step down after losing a series. Why are we as Indians just drawn on just keeping a legacy figure after, we went to South Africa, we said we're going to win this test series 3-0, and we lose this series 2-1.
Hello and welcome to Gulf News Straight Bat. We are back again to continue discussing what's been the shocking news about Virat Kohli resigning as India's Test captain. Now, we talked about this in the last show, I think 5 or 6 days ago, but we barely scratched the surface of what's been going on. So I'm delighted to be joined by several very special guests to discuss Kohli and India even more. We have Anis Sarjan, aka Mr. Cricket UAE. He's a cricket enthusiast and vice chairman of Danube Group. We also have Nilesh Bhatnagar, owner of Team Delhi Bulls in the Abu Dhabi T10 Cricket League and owner of NB Ventures. Nilesh has been following cricket since the days of Sunil Gavaskar and Kapil Dev. We also have Shailendra Rugwani, chairman of Experts Group of Companies. Shailendra has been an ardent follower of the game since childhood and has been part of several cricket leagues back in India. And we have KS Parag, managing director, First Video Communications. He's a cricket enthusiast and was the chairman of the FVC cricket team, which has played many corporate tournaments. And last but not least, we have our Gulf News expert, Sham Krishna. Welcome to the show, guys. How's everybody doing?
Brilliant, Imran.
All good already.
Great. Okay, so let's just recap what's been going on with Kohli and India lately. As we know, he took charge of the cricket, the test side in 2014. And his record since then in the last 7 years has been absolutely incredible. He's played, he's won 40 out of 68 test matches, making him the most successful test captain for India. But then he stepped down as the T20 captain just before the World Cup last year, which did not go down well with the BCCI, who then sacked him as the one-day international captain, saying that they didn't want to have 2 different white ball captains. And then to round it all off, Kohli resigned as the test captain just 10 days ago after India lost the series against South Africa. Right then, Anis, let me start with you. The legendary Kohli is no longer leading India in any format of the game. Is this good or bad for the team?
Very, very bad. And I had mentioned to you in our last conversation that it is probably the beginning of the downfall of Team India. And we saw what happened in the preceding ODIs where we were whitewashed by an inexperienced South African team. I'm not saying only on the basis of this series. I'm talking about on the basis of what is also going to come in the future. I know nobody knows what's going to be the future, but we were beaten soundly by a South African team which had their own political problems. They had probably 3 experienced players and they beat hands down a team. Barring Rohit Sharma, we had everybody in the team. So I feel dropping Virat Kohli from the ODI captain, who has won 16 ODI series out of the 20 years played, was baffling just because he doesn't want to do T20 captainship.
Nilesh, do you agree?
Anis, just Imran, let me ask Anis a question here, right, on exactly what he has said. Do you think if Virat was the captain, the result would have been different?
Well, I would be unfair to Rahul if I say that the result would have been different. But the energy level, which was lacking when Rahul was captaining, we all saw it. We felt that we were all going through the motions of the game. And then again, when Virat is there as a captain, the players probably given their more than 100%, like how Virat himself gives. He gets the best out of him. He's one of those players who gets into the eye of the opposition. And that is what the opposition is scared of. But here we felt Virat Kohli was standing at one corner, pairing the last match in the first hour. I felt he was out of place. And Rahul, as we know, we have seen in Punjab Kings, he is probably a captain who just takes the game deep and unfortunately goes into a shell.
Nilesh, let's bring Nilesh in. Ravi Shastri has just recently said that Kohli could have captained the side for at least 2 more years. I mean, he's only 33, 34. He would have been 36 by the end of that stint. Do you think it was the wrong decision for the BCCI to accept the resignation of India's most successful test skipper?
Yeah, so I think the way it has been happening, that the captains just say that I'm resigning, but I think this resignation should be subject matter of acceptance by the board, because board appoints them. So board should have this thing to say, no, we don't accept it, and you need to carry on. But there, I think in case of the BCCI, it is the ego of the people who are handling the board that they would not go back to a resigning captain and say, no, we need you and you need to carry on for 2 more years till we groom somebody else in your place. So, I guess, the egos come in the picture, and then they say, fine, you want to go, you go. But that should not be the way that a captain of the stature of Kohli should be leaving the captaincy. There has to be some procedure or SOPs to be developed and implemented as in the constitution of BCCI, how somebody can be appointed and how somebody can resign. It should not be through a social media post. Better ways are there to tell the captain that you're no more the captain, and better ways are there for the captain to say, I don't want to be the captain anymore.
But Nilesh, do you think it was a bad move by Kohli to announce he's going to step down as the T20 captain right before the start of the World Cup last year? I mean, the team looked like they suffered because of that.
I think that was not the right thing on part of Kohli to announce before the start of the tournament. I mean, everybody, there was so much of social media saying that, when you're in your notice period, you don't really give your best. So he was serving the notice period after his resignation. And, everybody, all the players know that he's not going to be the boss anymore. He knows that, this is the last series or whatever. So I think one could see the change in the dressing room atmosphere and the body language on the field of Indian team when he announced that he's going to leave, and then they played the tournament. One could see that the change of the body language already.
Nilesh, I have one more question for you there. Didn't BCCI also miss a trick by not grooming a successor to Kohli? Because we had Ajinkya Rahane, who is around the same age, but you cannot look at him as a future captain. But they didn't really groom anybody. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I think there are enough people in the team. In fact, Indian team has almost 5 or 6 captains of the IPL teams. So I would say there is enough talent in the Indian team for the leadership role. There is Shreyas Iyer, there is Rishabh Pant, there is KL is also a captain of one of the teams, and so there are enough captains in the Indian team, and there is a lot of bench strength in terms of leadership. So I'm not really concerned about that. But here again, what baffles me is that once Kohli was not the captain of ODIs, they have appointed, Rohit Sharma, I think, who's even 1 or 2 years, elder to Kohli. So it is again not a very futuristic decision. I mean, you should get somebody who can be in the job for the next 3, 4, 5 years, and not somebody who's already 35, 36, and so that decision possibly could have been with the next World Cup, which is going to happen in India. Maybe with keeping that in mind, that, okay, let's get Rohit on board, and then after the World Cup, then we bring some younger guy.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sharma is also quite injury prone. Let me just bring in Shailendra. There's loads of rumors flying around as to why Kohli stepped down. In fact, there's so many rumors, we could probably do a separate show just about all the gossip, but we're not going to do that. But first of all, Shailendra, do you think he's been treated unfairly? And secondly, where does this leave the team?
The first question, treated unfairly, I'm sure he has been treated unfairly. I mean, the decision of his of leaving T20 captaincy was probably right. Timing was wrong, as everybody else said, but decision was right, I feel, because he probably wanted to focus more on test and one day cricket. also giving a chance to Rohit, who has been a better captain in T20 format in terms of IPL and other wins. So he should have probably been given transition time for one-day cricket and groom somebody, because right now, even Rahul, captaining this, he was not even, ready for it. So the grooming time was not given. I mean, just calling him and announcing that, you're no more a captain to somebody who has dedicated, years of his life to cricket and to India. So yes, the treatment was not fair, I believe. And the second question about what could have gone better, or sorry, I missed the second question.
Where do you think it leaves the team having
Okay.
such a skipper?
Right now, I mean, there's a mess. I mean, I believe Kohli leaving Test captaincy is going to be a massive loss for Indian cricket. So a lot of problems have come all together. One is one day, of course, Rohit has been announced as a captain for one-day cricket, but then he's prone to injury. So what happens when he's not around? Who captains it? And secondly, the test. Yes, there's a lot of confusion, as Nilesh Bhai mentioned, that yes, there are capable players, but nobody has been groomed. So we don't know their capabilities as captains. Captaining IPL team or captaining league in India is different to captaining actual Indian Test cricket. So yes, there is confusion, and I feel BCCI should sit with Kohli, talk to him, and somehow convince him to continue, captaincy in Test cricket. That's what I feel.
I think this is a very key question here. I'd like to bring Nilesh back in to have his opinion. Nilesh, do you think he's been treated unfairly after all he's done for the team?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there is no doubt about it. You don't announce to a captain 1 hour before the team has been announced that you're no more the captain of the ODI team. This is knowing Kohli and knowing Ganguly. I would rather believe Kohli's press conference than Ganguly's claim that he had actually requested Kohli to continue. I think that was a very false claim. Ganguly should not be the one to ask Kohli to continue. It should be the selectors, because they are the ones who appoint him. It's not the board's the president of the board's decision to appoint the captain. So I don't know in what capacity Ganguly would have requested Kohli to continue. Even if his claim was right, that is completely not the way it should be. It should be the selectors to tell Kohli that, look, we would like you to continue. But then having one more thing I don't understand, just because the color of the ball is same, they treat T20 and ODI as the same game, whereas these are very two different animals. The color of the ball should not matter. T20 is more of a tamasha, whereas ODI is a very serious cricketing game that you're playing, which we have seen in the last 3 ODIs. The grind that you need in playing a ODI lasting 50 overs and pacing your innings, and the selecting your batting order, very, very technical, requires very high acumen of cricketing mind, which is not the case in a T20 game. T20 just go and bloody get everything out of the ground. I'm sure Anis Bhai will agree that T20 and ODI are very, very different games, and just to say that because the color of the ball is the same, we need same captain. Completely wrong. They have got it completely wrong, I would say.
I would like to add here to what Nilesh Bhai said, that this is no more a cricket, it's more of politics and egos playing around, I believe.
Imran, get Parag in.
Yeah, Parag has been waiting very patiently. Parag, I think we can only speculate why he's quit as a Test captain. But what do you think's been going on behind the scenes for this to all come to a head?
I have a completely different view. Yeah, I have a completely different view. Okay. And I'm sorry, my view is completely on a contrasting mode, completely from all what you're saying. Here, I'm not here about the treatment to Kohli. And yes, whatever is done has been done badly. I'm not here completely on that. But I'm completely based on only one thing, outcome. So today, yes, today the way it's done badly, keep that separate. But today, yes, a captain should step down after losing a series. Why are we as Indians just drawn on just keeping a legacy figure after, we went to South Africa, we said we're going to win the test series 3-0, and we lose this series 2-1. So I'm sorry, if Virat Kohli had to step down as captaincy, he steps down. Okay, we are a nation who is supposed to have breeding cricket out there in the backyard. We're supposed to have so many IPLs and so many cricketers. I'm sorry, let's bring young talent. That's one. Second, cricket, all sports is played between 20 to 30 years. Okay, so yes, today you have young talent starting at 18, and maximum, you have talent who go up to 32, 33, 34. Now, yes, today, let's not go with cricket versus tennis. Tennis is different. Tennis, you're an individual sport. You could be even playing at 38, 39 without disturbing your team. But when you're talking about a sport, you're talking about teamwork. Maximum cricket life is between maximum 18 to 32 to 33 years. So I'm sorry, we have to bring younger talent, and we have to play based on outcomes. So when you're looking at outcomes, 20 to 30 is maximum a shelf life of a cricketer. That's one. Second, we as BCCI is paying one of the most highest paid cricketers in the world. I don't know how many of us are aware. 3 of these cricketers are paid 11 crores a year. That's almost 1 crore a month. And the other players are paid 7 crores a year, which is a good amount of money. So when we are paying so much of money, why can't we ask as a nation results for winning? I'm sorry, I'm not here for Virat Kohli. I'm not here for Rohit Sharma. I'm here for a clear win and outcome for India. And if that is our way moving forward, I'm sorry, if it's Virat loses a series, he steps down. If Rohit Sharma runs a series, he steps down. Yes, we will bring younger cricketers. They will lose. They will learn from experience, but they will come up. And I always remember the one World Cup, which was 1987 World Cup, where I don't know, all of us were there. Sri Lanka lost all the matches of the World Cup. What did the Sri Lankan board do? They actually fired the whole team, retained only 2 players, and said, we will win the 1995 World Cup. They groomed for 8 years. 8 years, and they won the World Cup. So that's how we as India have to look at. Now, India cannot afford 8 years. We have to look at the 2023 World Cup. Our series may be a disaster, but then this experience will come through the team. They have to learn. They have to learn from failures. We have to keep 2023 as the World Cup to win, and we have to make sure that we make ourselves sharper, better, and smarter, and more efficient. That's my view. That's my humble view.
But I completely agree with you there. But I have one more question to ask as a follow-up. There is, can't this transition be managed a little more better?
Yeah, I agree. We should have managed it better. Okay, but I'm only humbly saying, let's start stopping living in the legacy world of the Virat Kohlis or the Rohit Sharmas and everything and all that. Okay, we lived in the Dhonis of the world. Okay, means I have the greatest respect. He won us the 2011 World Cup. I will bow down to Dhoni. But I would say 2015 should have been Dhoni's last World Cup. That's my view. Okay, then dragging on the team, after 2016, 2017 is not required. Okay, so today you have to understand when we have to step, when cricketers reach their peak, their legacy, and you don't drag on players because you're affecting a team. Okay, now my view is, and today 2019 World Cup, okay, you made Virat Kohli a hero. Okay, you went to the extent that, India is going to win the World Cup in 2019. You went up to the extent and said Virat Kohli is going to be running a bare chest across Lords. Okay, that was the thing. No one thought about World Cup 2019. India was on the finals. No one thought we were going to get out of the semifinals. Okay, everyone was only thinking the World Cup final, and not only we'll be in the final, India will be in the final, but they'll win the World Cup. That is the hype you carried. Okay, everyone carried that hype. And I'm sorry, we lost it. Okay, we didn't even qualify the semifinals. So when something like this happens, why does a nation more than 1 billion people with so much of power behind cricket is not taking the right decision? We have to take it. Okay, when you are in business, you take the decision, okay, and say, fine, if this particular leader is unsuccessful, we actually tell the CEO to step down. I'm sorry, the CEO of the team is the captain of the team. He has to learn to step down and give way to someone else who may fail, but he actually learn from that. Okay, that's my view. Okay, I have nothing. I have the greatest respect for Virat Kohli. I have the greatest respect for Rohit Sharma. But today, I want a India which wins, a clear outcome-based India. Okay, not basically living in the legacies of Virat Kohli's or the Rohit Sharmas of the world. Okay, I don't mind whether it's Rishabh Pant or KL Rahul. They may fail today, but they will be successful tomorrow. And I have the greatest respect on Dravid being the coach. Okay, that's the best decision BCCI has made.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that, Parag.
It's the best decision they made, and he will come up. He will change the team. That's my view.
Nilesh, can you go on? Can you go on the part of?
Yeah, let's have your thoughts on that.
On Dravid, is it?
Yeah.
You see, the Dravid, I think they have done the very big mistake of making Dravid the coach of the senior team. Dravid was doing a brilliant job developing the codes of the Indian cricket and making them from boys to men. That's what he was doing. He was technically correcting them. He was mentoring them, and emotionally and technically, and really that's the role that Dravid was playing. Now the qualities required for the senior team are very different. I don't think anybody who qualifies to be in senior India 11 needs to be told how to bat, how to ball. And for that, anyway, there is a batting coach and a bowling coach. So the role of the coach, I feel, is to really motivate the team, make them, bring a purpose to their presence on the field, motivate them. And, something like what Shah Rukh Khan did in Chak De India, that movie where, you need to bring the passions of the players to a level that they hate losing. That is the job of the coach, which Ravi Shastri was doing brilliantly, frankly speaking. And I don't think, if you have a combination on one hand, India had a combination of a Shastri and a Kohli, where both were so aggressive that they took the passions of the game, passions of the Indian players to a high. And suddenly you have a combination of Dravid and KL Rahul, where both are very sober and, very, I would say, quiet and, completely you have taken away the entire enthusiasm and passion from the dressing room to be a very, government of India, employee type of a role that these guys are playing. You cannot do that. You can't remove, Kohli and Shastri and bring KL Rahul and Dravid. Dravid, quite a misfit for the coach of the senior team, a brilliant guy for coach of the junior team, I would say. Personal opinion. I mean, Dravid is an icon. We have all, loved him so much in his career. He is the wall of the Indian team. But then, one more thing I would like to say here, that just as the captain of the white ball and red ball can be different, why can't the coaches of the red ball and white ball be different?
I think I agree with Nilesh.
So, if, in a test match, you need to be the wall, but not in a T20 or a ODI that you need to be the wall. If you tell everyone to be the wall, then, you won't win many matches in limited overs cricket. So BCCI should also consider the fact that you can have different coaches for different versions of the game, just as you want to have different captains.
And different players. That's a very interesting point, Anis. Different captains, different coaches for different formats of the game. Is that the right way to go about it, Anis?
First, before I answer this question, what Nilesh mentioned about the point that white ball, that doesn't make any logic to have two different, to have the same captain. He's absolutely right that one white ball, you are playing an aggressive slam bang cricket, T20. So the logic given by the BCCI, rather the so-called board of chairman of board or whatever is called, Saurav Ganguly, that he said that is too much of captainship. If Virat Kohli wants to step down as T20 captain, we would not like to have him as ODI. That did not make any sense to me, like Nilesh meant, and I am endorsed because T20 is a different format of a game where you do not require your mind. It's more about attacking skills. Whereas in an ODI, you require to use your temperament. Now, coming to the second point, you mentioned, you asked me about having separate coaches. There's no harm, like, because Dravid, as we all know, is a defensive type of a player. So in a test cricket, he might probably add his value, and you can probably, make the techniques better if there is a player having a flaw. But you cannot teach them everything in cricket, because the seniors, they have played so much of cricket, they might probably give you 1 year and let it go. What as a coach you require, like Ravi Shastri did, is that you need to be a motivator. You cannot be a headmaster. There's a difference between a motivator and a headmaster. And the reason Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli were successful, one was a motivator and one was a player, was very aggressive. In fact, both were aggressive. They looked in the eye of the opposition, whether playing against Australia, whether playing against England. Tell me, in the history of Indian cricket, even MS Dhoni, barring winning the World Cup, okay, I understand an ICC title is important. What has MS Dhoni achieved when it comes to going abroad and winning test series? MS Dhoni has not won a single test series abroad. We are talking about Sachin Tendulkar, we're talking about Saurav Ganguly, we're talking about Azharuddin. Not one international captain, or sorry, not Indian captain has won a test series. And an ODI series, barring England, we have not won anywhere. So how can we say that Virat Kohli was a bad ODI captain? And when it comes to test, stats don't lie. He's won 40 test matches out of 68. Come on, Nimran, give me a break. On what grounds are you asking him? And one more thing before, I know it's getting a bit long from my side. You say when he wanted to step down, you said, Virat, don't step down. We want you to continue. The moment he stepped down as test captain, you said, thank you very much, Virat, for your services. That shows you did not want him. They were jealous of his success.
Yeah, I'll just add here, one of the greatest cricketer the world has seen, Shenwan, he has clearly mentioned that thanked Virat because cricket was on decline, and because of the passion he brought in, the cricket has been, test cricket has been rejuvenated, and he's one of the reasons that you see a lot of test cricket being played from different countries.
Nilesh, he hasn't scored a century. Sorry, Sham. He hasn't scored a test century for 2 years now. And he said that the pressure of captaining the team was the reason that he was struggling with the bat. So now, what sort of performances can we expect from him, seeing as he doesn't have any of these responsibilities weighing him down anymore?
So I would say you'll see a better Virat Kohli batting. Okay, I'm a great fan of his batting, and I would actually applaud him as great as a batsman. We should see much better performance. If you remember, Sachin Tendulkar was a brief stint as an Indian captain, and then afterwards he stepped down, and then you saw him batting. So the pressure of captaincy versus going and getting after the runs, I would say we will see a better Virat. Okay, 100% we'll see a better Virat from a batting perspective, and he's a great cricketing legend, and definitely he's a great guy.
Sham wanted to say something.
Yeah, okay. Now, okay, let me skip that and I come back to what Shailendra said here. But even as captain, Dhoni's figures were exceptional. I mean, for a captain, I don't think his aggregates is better than anybody in India, and it is I think except for Ponting, he's got the best figures actually. So
not in Test cricket. Not in Test cricket.
He started off with three centuries, right?
You're talking about runs, or you're talking about series win?
No, not series. I'm talking about runs scored.
Runs.
No,
you're talking of Kohli or Dhoni?
Kohli.
Yes.
But you mentioned Dhoni to begin with.
No, sorry. I mean, I got it wrong.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I thought you were talking about Kohli actually.
No. I was talking about Kohli because I did a special report on it. So I went through the figures, and Kohli's scoring as a captain was much better than
very good. Extremely good.
And yes, and perhaps only Ricky Ponting seemed to have better figures than him actually. So I at no point did I feel that the captaincy was affecting his batting.
No,
but only in the last 2 years, it was general decline compared to his standards. No, if you look at the other, if you compare with other batsmen, yes, it is high. So because he is such high standards, he didn't measure up to that. Otherwise, he was fine. So even it was not just related to test, it was a general slump in form across all formats. So I would generally agree with the fact that captaincy affected his batting, but it did in the case of Sachin Tendulkar. Yes, Sachin Tendulkar was never the player he was.
Okay.
So was Ian Botham. If you remember Ian Botham, Ian was a flop as a captain, and the moment the captaincy was taken away from him, he was a different player.
Yeah, but okay, just 1 minute. Just add in here. I think if you really want to talk about captains, I think probably one of the best captains we've seen is Steve Waugh. Okay,
Absolutely.
so he's the guy. He actually made a test to win, a captain's knock, and he would actually play to win. So I would give him the biggest respect in terms of captaincy, in terms of really playing a captain's knock and being there for the team in terms of making it happen. So I think these are things. So basically, my humble opinion would be is yes, today you have seen in the last 1 year, 2 years, Virat Kohli, maybe the pressure of captaincy has been there. Okay, he's a great batsman, the best batsman we have in the world. But definitely that has affected. But you know, no one is Steve Waugh. Okay, you don't have Steve Waugh. Okay, probably after Steve Waugh to a certain degree, Ricky Ponting. But Steve Waugh was a captain to win, and that's the kind of captaincy we need. If India needs to get back to that particular thing and win the World Cup 2023, whether it's Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, or KL Rahul, or whoever it is, but that's the kind of captaincy we need to win the ODI, okay, or the World Cup 2023. And I think it's high time India gets back and wins that cup.
Shailendra, India scaled, as we know, great heights with Kohli in charge of the team. I think he's got a 100% record at home in India. And obviously there was those amazing series wins in Australia, in West Indies, and so many more. But now without him pulling the strings, do you think it's going to set the team back?
I think the period till it settles is going to be turbulent. So I still believe that at least for the test team, the board should talk to him and ask him to come back and groom somebody else, you know, because right now, frankly speaking, nobody was prepared for this. There's no second in line waiting. I mean, there was somebody, Rahane was his vice captain for ages, but even he's not sure of his place in the team. So right now, there's a lot of confusion and turbulence. He should come back and probably, like how Dhoni had identified Kohli as his, you know, next in line to take over. And he groomed him for years. I mean, at least 3-4 years, we all knew that Dhoni steps down and Kohli's, you know, taking over. So right now, unfortunately, there's no one name who can, we're talking about test cricket. Nobody there who can be, you know, ready to take over, including Rohit, I believe, because even he's really, I mean, as age-wise, yes, he's probably 34, 35, and we don't
35.
know how long, 35, and we don't know how long he's going to play all 3 formats. And he's really a specialist white ball player. So if he focuses on that, is better. But test, I believe Kohli should come back and should be given an agenda to groom somebody, and you know, given it a chance to step down, you know, in a better way than what has happened right now. It's like he was forced to step down, you know. So that is really an unfortunate incident in Indian cricket, I believe.
Anis, it's been a really bad tour of South Africa. Obviously, they lost the Test Series 2-1, and then they've been beaten in the One-Day Internationals 3-0. Now, under Rahul Dravid, how likely is it that the men in blue are going to be entering a transitional period across all the formats of the game? And how long do you think this transitional period could last?
If you're talking about ODI cricket specifically?
All of them. ODI?
Well, okay, so first I'll give you an answer for Test cricket. Now, you know, like I mentioned before, if Virat Kohli wanted to get his stats better, the 2 weaker teams are coming to India to play. You have first West Indies, then Sri Lanka and Afghanistan. His test record would have jumped to almost 48 or 49 because I think everybody is playing a couple of tests. If I'm not wrong, at least 2 of them are playing a couple of test matches. All the series are happening at home. So that would have been an easy thing for Virat Kohli that I don't step down. Because he was angry, because the way he was let off in the ODI, he decided to step down. Now you ask me how the transition, yes, playing in India, we might not have the difficulty because we make spinners paradise and we might win the test matches. But again, when I say ODI cricket, we might still struggle as much as we feel that Rohit Sharma is a good white ball captain, but his credential in white ball captain has been good in the shorter format. When I say shorter, the T20 format. So the 50-over format, which the World Cup, which is going to happen in India, I feel like Shailendra said that because they should request Virat Kohli for the test. Why not tell him, boss, all is gone, what has happened? Let's keep our egos aside, come together and make sure that we win the T23 World Cup. Parag wants India to win the 23 World Cup. I don't see any other captain winning the World Cup except Virat Kohli for us in India.
And but if calling back Kohli would be a retrograde step, isn't it? It will be a backward step, isn't it?
It's about ego. It's about ego. You see, their logic of removing him because he did not want it to continue the T20 captainship. So, like we all have different opinions, and I might be right or I might be wrong. That's for people to decide. But you cannot force him to be a T20 captain to continue an ODI captain. And he had clearly mentioned he wanted to be an ODI captain, and the records say his records are phenomenal in ODI cricket. I mean, even Rohit Sharma is around 20 centuries behind him. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, completely agree with what Tanis is saying. Absolutely. See, BCCI is famous for, it appears that they were not very happy with the record of Kohli, and they didn't like the team of Kohli and Shastri. Frankly, they were not very comfortable because together they were such a formidable force that they wouldn't sort of listen to the BCCI bigwigs and massage their egos. The one very strange thing that happened, which proves that BCCI was somehow trying to break the nexus between Kohli and Ravi Shastri, was the fact that for the T20 World Cup, which happened just a few months back, they infused Dhoni into the bloody equation. And, as a mentor, I don't understand what was the role of Dhoni getting into the Indian dressing room when you have a 7-year-old captain, a captain who has been captaining the team for 7 years, and a coach who together they have such a phenomenal track record. Why was Dhoni put into the dressing room when there is no role as a mentor required for the senior team? It was creating confusion and completely, and it was
not required.
In the team. It was not required. It was shown in the team selection. When we played against Pakistan, we had Varun Chakravarti, whereas Ashwin was sitting inside the dressing room. Whereas a very, very experienced person who was, I mean, we can talk many things, but again, BCCI comes up with such decisions that they are not very, easy to understand. And, I mean, at the end of the day, another thing that we have is that, the selectors that we have in Indian board themselves are, selecting a test cricket team when they themselves have played 1 match or 2 matches or 3 matches. Those are the type of selectors that we have. They have themselves never played cricket and they become the selectors and they select the future of Indian cricket team, which is also not, I don't know why it happens like that. So, I mean, Chetan Sharma deciding who should be the captain of the Indian cricket team is quite difficult for me to digest, frankly speaking.
Okay, guys, so look, the $1 million question is, who is going to be India's next test captain? Everyone's been linked. Rohit Sharma, we've spoken about. The youngster Rishabh Pant has been mentioned. Jasprit Bumrah has also been linked with it. I've been linked with it. The guy making the correct choice has been linked with it. Everyone's being linked with it. But I'd like to go around the group and just ask who they think should be the next test captain and what qualities do you think they need to have? Nilesh, we'll start with you.
I would see, first of all, the person who will be the captain should be somebody who's got his permanent place in the team at least for the next 3, 4, 5 years. I feel, at this point of time, I would go for somebody like Shreyas Iyer to be the test captain, and possibly Rishabh Pant to be the white ball captain, under the, to be groomed over a period of time under Rohit Sharma. But certainly I wouldn't recommend Rishabh Pant to be the test captain. I would go for Shreyas Iyer.
Shailendra, what about you? Test captain, who should it be?
Yeah, the future captain, I believe in the present team setup, I believe if Rahul is, trained, he would be most suitable amongst the present players.
For test.
For test, yeah.
Parag?
But you think Rahul is a permanent member of the test team?
See, as a batsman, yes,
I doubt very much.
If
I
not an
doubt very
opener,
much.
he could be 2 down, 3 down,
So I would give Rishabh Pant, not for anything else. Yes, there's still a lot of learning for him, a lot of maturity to game. But I'm definitely with the opinion that Test cricket captain should be separate and the ODI captain should be separate. Okay.
So who is that, Parag?
So it's difficult to say on the Test cricket, but yeah, Shreyas Iyer could be a potential one for that. So that could be it. But if the selectors want to have one, then I would go with Rishabh Pant for both the formats. But yeah, ideally could have Shreyas Iyer and Rishabh Pant for the ODI.
Anis,
So,
who
yeah,
did as Kohli did it?
And I'm sorry. And one thing, yeah, the only reason I not picking up Rohit, not keeping the future in part. Okay, so let's keep a captain for the next 4 to 5 years. Yes, he'll make mistakes for the first year, but then he'll come back stronger after that. Sorry.
All right. Imran, you asked me what?
Yeah, Anis, who do you think should it be? Who can do it as well as Kohli? Who can be better than Kohli as Test captain?
As I said, now playing in India, anybody who will captain, even Chetan Sharma or Saurav Ganguly comes also, he might also probably win the Test match in India. If I have to say, and I'll repeat on record, that if India wants to do abroad in Test cricket, winning in India, there's no secret. But if you want to maintain that record of the #1 Test cricket team, India has to go back. The BCCI has to, keep their egos aside and go back to Virat Kohli. Boss, what has happened? Let's forget the past. Let's mingle our differences and go and make him as the Test captain. And when it comes to ODI, if Rohit Sharma is fit, let them go in and with Rohit Sharma. But if you have to ask me, if they don't want Virat Kohli, the only person which comes to my mind, I would probably back somebody who will be in the Test side for a longer run, and it would be Test cricket. Would be I like street smart captains. I would go back Rishabh Pant both in ODI and Test.
Okay, so Anis, I know you keep saying Virat Kohli, everything great. Okay, I again respect it, but again we lost the Test Cricket World Cup Championship. Okay, why you're not looking at that? Okay, a captain has to win. Okay, as a country, we have to look at a winning and outcome. Clear has to be a win. Okay, let's stop living in a legacy world.
Yeah, see, okay. Parag, losing to New Zealand in the semi-finals was not really the right. You can't judge by that. The match got over and there was rain, and then they started first thing in the morning again.
Sorry, Nilesh, I'm talking about the World Cup Test Cricket Championship, where we again met New Zealand and we lost in England and Lords.
Yeah. But you've taken, you lost in the finals. I mean, you have gone to the finals. That itself is a big thing.
Yeah, it means, okay, fine. We lost the World Cup 2019, but at least now you should have groomed yourself, sharpened yourself. You should have said, hey, listen, okay, let's not lose this one. This was supposed to be won by us. Okay. And we were again favorites to win. Okay. Again, we lost to New Zealand on final. Okay. Yeah. But why can't we have, as a country, why can't we start looking at winning as an outcome? Okay, this is my only humble
They try to win. Yeah, every country tries to win. So you win some and you lose some, and you have to see overall record.
Yes, the ICC cabinet, trophies is still not in Virat Kohli's cabinet. I agree. We lost the 2019 World Cup semi-final. We lost the World Test Championship finals to New Zealand, which was the first time. And we lost again under Virat Kohli the Champions Trophy final when he had just taken over as captain from MS Dhoni. And fourth was this is the T20. So he's done it only one time in each format. But the fact, what I am trying to emphasize, and I will keep on recording this tape, that stats of a captain has to be seen in the longer run. How much he has won. You cannot judge a captain by one loss in each format. That's my answer.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, India's next test assignment is a 2-match series against Sri Lanka at home next month between February and March. Guys, how do you see that going? Nilesh?
2-0 India.
Absolutely.
In
playing
all
at home.
probability, if Rohit is fit, probably, I think he probably might be given the responsibility. The way BCCI is looking at it, probably.
Yeah,
So
2-0 to India.
Okay, the guys are confident. We'll see how they get on in the next test series. And of course, by then, we're going to know who's leading the team. But for now, I'd like to thank my guests for some very interesting thoughts and for coming onto the show. Remember to log on to gulfnews.com for all the latest news, reviews, analysis, and so much more. In the meantime, keep safe, take care, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys, and see you later.